everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. All right, you guys, so it's been a crazy couple days, and there's been a lot of stuff coming out about 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. Before things started coming out about the tell all, David Murphy, who has been a prominent feature of the show, of his storyline of him and Lana, and his inability to actually meet up with her after going to Ukraine 4 separate times to meet her, spending over $100,000 on gifts and items for her in 7 years. A lot of people started to believe that he had been catfished. On the episode, he hired a private eye who apparently told him that Lana had profiles on multiple different websites using different names but the same photo. David pushed back and he said that he did not believe that. It wasn't anything that he didn't know, and he knew that Lana was real. We know Lana's real now, wink wink. We also know a proposal happened. But after that episode, fans began flooding his latest Instagram post at the time. And they were not holding back, telling him to give it up, telling him to let it go, telling him that he was delusional, diagnosing him with all sorts of things. And David wasn't having it. And I think the thing is that we've only seen one side of David on the show. He seems to be sort of this like aloof, doofy guy that doesn't really have much of a personality. But on his Instagram, he is a lot different, actually starkly different. He is self-assured, kind of arrogant, and a little bit, I don't even know what to say. I'll walk you through some of the statements he made. Now, these are his own words, and if he broke an NDA, I can't help it. And TLC, you can't do anything about this video because these are his own words. So here you go. People were accusing him of being scammed, and he said, "Too bad for them. I'm too smart to be scammed. Bring them on." He also went on to say, like, people were saying that he was probably speaking to a man, insinuating that someone was using Lana's photos as a way to catfish him. And he took that quite literally. And he said, dude, if you think those photos of Lana look like a dude, you've got some problems. Clearly, he didn't understand that people were saying that the dude was probably using fake photos. Then he went on, when someone said that he needed help, he said, and you think you're ready to diagnose me based on what? Someone revoked this woman's humanity card. I think that's fair. Now, when another person said, "Oh, David, what am I going to do with you? Listen to your friend Jim and even the women translating for you. I'm beginning to think you may be an actor because I heard Yolanda is." And he said, "Do you think I asked them to be on the show because they had my back? Where is the drama in that?" Insinuating that he asked his friends, these ones, to be on his shows because they were critical and to provide sort of a, I don't know, edgy sort of controversy, manipulation. So he didn't put on anyone that actually supported the relationship, and so he only picked people that didn't support the relationship. Interesting. Do you think production had anything to do with that? I don't know. He went on to say, when someone asked about his friend that was the translator, he said, "She was too young when I met her. I only met her as a friend, even though she was begging me to marry her for 20 years. She was also very shy. I mean, arms frozen to her side during a hug and can't look me in the face. Shy for me to take a chance on her. She was also not budget conscious, wanting $300 jeans, more than a month's salary for her, and she wanted children. At the time, I did not. But yes, she is a sweet woman now, still would not marry her even if she was single." So not interested in his friend because she was too designery and too shy. He also said, "I did not date Lana at 20 years old. She was someone just like Anya that I was just going to meet for dinner because no one comes to visit her in her way out of the beaten path city. She got nervous because of the age and strong shyness. 5 months later, we tried again. When I was there, her brother died the day before. They then did not talk to her for 2.5 years. We started talking again, and we got serious when she was 25. Wow, he got involved with her when she was very young. Wow. And I think he's in his 60s. The PI verified that her brother did die when I know that he did. Unfortunately, that scene appears to be cut. Kind of gives you an idea of how they wanted the narrative to go. I don't control editing. So apparently some of the excuses that she provided actually did in fact happen. Um, he went on to say that they edited the show to make it appear as though she didn't exist, and all parts that have her speaking to me and on camera have been cut, I have been told. So apparently, there's footage of them speaking on camera. There's footage of them meeting, which was shared, wink, wink. And the editors at TLC left that on the cutting room floor. So TLC, he's alleging TLC went out of their way to make this look as though she didn't exist, even though we know that she's real. And even though we know that they actually got engaged. And then they said, thinking I would like the money you have spent, think about the money that you've spent traveling back and forth. And he said, go out and earn it like I did and be able to do whatever you want. A lot of it was because I lived frugally, saved over half of what I earned each year for the last 20 years. And then he said, you blasted me for saying the same crap as many others, and you're on this page even. That makes you fair. That makes you fair game. And then basically just saying, what do you mean I have never heard her voice? You people just make SHIT up and wasted 100K. Did you waste money buying that Starbucks last week or whatever other things you spent on? Just watch for the entertainment it is. The reality, it is not a documentary. He also explained why he actually likes to he pushed back on the accusation that she makes money off of it. And he says, women on the sites do not remove profiles from their agency until they have a visa in hand. It's a long process, and 95% of the men on the sites are not serious and will never travel to see them. And of the ones that do go, they are not guaranteed to have a marriage from that meeting. It's a long process. So basically, she would have to stay on this website until she actually finds a visa, until she finds the man that she's looking for. And then he went on to continue, like, also, who says when Lana sees you in real life, she will accept you? And he said, already said this is not a guarantee, and neither is meeting a girl here. However, much easier to have success there for reasons I won't go into too much to write. I wonder if the reasons why it's easier to find someone abroad is because there's so many women that want to leave, and there's not as many men for them to date, and they want to get out due to poverty or limitations for what women can do in the country. I don't know. He didn't elaborate. And then he said he kept saying he didn't control editing. He's going to say, I'm going to continue to say editing. You don't understand what that means. I can't help you. So when people continued to go at him, he was like, so you create your own lies. I can have plenty of dates in this country. And if there's nothing... It has nothing to do with that. You think the goal is to get married. Who said that? The hundreds of dates were mostly during the times when I didn't want to get married. And he says, I wanted the adventure of going to a foreign country. I didn't get engaged to a few girls there when I found the right ones. So he admits here that there was an engagement. And he also admits that Lana's real. So I think it's fair to say there's an engagement to Lana. He says, he wanted the adventure. I did get engaged a few times when I found the right ones. One had a son, and the father would not sign papers to allow the son to leave Ukraine. So that ended there. In the most recent years, I needed to find someone willing to have a career and wanting to travel full time. Half of the time in a luxury motor coach, also not easy to find. So he said in the most recent one. So is it the most recent one, Lana, who wants to travel, who's okay with his lifestyle? He even told someone he would provide them details if they wanted to call him, and he would give them his number because she seemed to have genuine interest in talking to him. And she said she doesn't need digits to call me. She can call from IG. So he's telling people, go into my DMs, give me a call. I'll tell you everything. Like, this man... It's wild. So basically, he is all about, I have been engaged. I chose women from this specific area for reasons I can't get into, and TLC was going to leave all of the footage of Lana on the cutting room floor, which could be why when I had sort of gone out and said, hey, there's now evidence that suggests that Lana is real and that they meet and that there's an engagement. And this has been sort of permeating before even anything happened. Yesterday, when I had Katrina on the channel, she actually said, hey, David is, Lana's real from all the evidence that we can ascertain from our investigation. We were able to piece together parts of the story that weren't true. We know that one of the reasons things happened this way was because when they got there, she wasn't able to meet him. And so then they sort of created this whole storyline, and then they stuck to that storyline. With that being said, we know the tell-all's coming up in a couple weeks. We know that Lana, I don't think, is going to appear, but David will. And so we'll get a lot more details about what's coming up for him. There's photos starting to circulate. There's lots of whisperings going on. So you'll have to wait and see what comes up. But he says, Lana's real. I'm engaged. And he also says, TLC, edit it this way. I can't control it. What's up? Why would you edit that out, TLC? I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Now, he's supposed to go back. So do we see her this week, or do they choose to leave that out as well? I don't know. He says that he's told that all of the footage of Lana was cut out by TLC. All right, you guys. So tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Do you believe David? We'll have to wait and see. Bye, guys.